Welcome to Trench Talk. We about to dive into all the gang-related news, stories, and history. So you know the drill, like, comment, share, and smash that bell so you don't miss when we drop something fresh. Tonight, we're diving into a story that's been making waves in the entertainment industry, and this one is getting more bizarre by the minute. It involves none other than Sean "Diddy" Combs, a name synonymous with fame, fortune, and now, serious allegations. This tale, filled with twists and turns, has not only sparked heated debates, but also left many questioning the credibility of those who have come forward. Buckle up, because this is about to get deep. Now, as you've probably heard, several individuals have come forward with accusations against Diddy, painting a grim picture of his past. But one name that's standing out is Dahlia Graves, a woman who claims to have been a victim of Diddy's alleged misconduct. At first glance, her story seemed compelling, even drawing widespread sympathy from the public. But here's where it gets interesting, because what started as a seemingly credible claim is now crumbling under the weight of evidence that suggests something far more calculated was at play. When Dahlia Graves first came forward, she did so in a tearful and emotional manner, recounting her alleged experiences with Diddy. The details were harrowing, and the media, as it often does, was quick to react. Headlines screamed accusations, social media lit up with outrage, and Diddy's reputation, already surrounded by whispers of controversy, seemed to be taking yet another hit. But as the dust settled and people started digging deeper, cracks began to form in Dahlia's story. Enter Big Joe, a former bodyguard of Diddy and a key figure in this unfolding drama. Graves claimed that Big Joe was present during the incident she described. She painted a vivid picture of a man complicit in Diddy's alleged actions. But here's the twist. Big Joe fired back, not just with a denial, but with proof that completely dismantled her narrative. Big Joe's involvement in this story cannot be overstated. As someone closely associated with Diddy during the time of these alleged events, his testimony carried weight. And in a surprising move, Big Joe didn't just deny the accusations. He brought receipts, literally. Text messages between him and Dahlia surfaced, and let me tell you, they tell a completely different story. These text messages show Dahlia attempting to coerce Big Joe into backing her version of events, even offering him a staggering $3 million to support her claims. Let that sink in, $3 million to lie. Now, if Big Joe hadn't had the foresight to keep those texts as evidence, we might still be in the dark, believing that Dahlia was telling the truth. But the text messages were clear, undeniable proof that Dahlia's claims were fabricated, and she was trying to pay for lies to bolster her case. In one message, Dahlia outright asks Joe, "What do you need? $3 million?" in exchange for backing her story. That's not just suspicious. That's a full-blown attempt at bribery, and it raises serious questions about the motives behind these allegations. Now let's shift to TMZ's bombshell report on this case. They've seen the text messages, they've verified their authenticity, and it's all out there for the world to see. TMZ even interviewed Dahlia's ex-boyfriend, who confirmed that she approached him with a similar request, asking him to corroborate her story in exchange for money. According to him, after receiving Dahlia's bribe offer, he cut ties with her completely, blocking her on social media and cutting off all communication. What we're seeing here is not just the unraveling of one accuser's story. It's the collapse of the entire foundation upon which this lawsuit was built. If Dahlia Graves, one of the most vocal accusers, was lying and willing to pay for people to support her false narrative, what does that say about the others? It casts a dark shadow over all the allegations, leading many to wonder if this is less about justice and more about a payday. It didn't take long for the public to start reacting. Among the most vocal is 50 Cent, who, as we all know, never misses an opportunity to speak his mind. 50 Cent took to social media, mocking Dahlia Graves and calling out the blatant lies in her story. His sarcastic posts went viral, with many in the comment sections echoing his sentiments. This is a money grab, plain and simple. 50 Cent's involvement, while humorous on the surface, also underscores a larger point. People are starting to question the legitimacy of these claims. And when someone like 50 Cent, who's well-versed in the behind-the-scenes drama of the music industry, speaks up, you better believe it's going to get attention. But wait, there's more. The plot thickens with the mention of Jay Prince, a figure who holds significant influence in the music world. According to Big Joe, Dahlia Graves mentioned Jay Prince in her attempts to pressure him into supporting her story. She even claimed that she and Jay Prince would be coming to New York, implying that Jay Prince was somehow involved in this orchestrated attack against Diddy. Now, for those unfamiliar, Jay Prince has had a long-standing beef with Diddy, dating back to an alleged altercation involving Drake. So, the idea that Jay Prince might be involved in some kind of smear campaign against Diddy isn't entirely far-fetched. Add to that the fact that the lawyer representing many of Diddy's accusers is based out of Houston, Jay Prince's stomping grounds, and suddenly, this story starts to look less like a simple lawsuit and more like a calculated takedown. Let's not forget the role of the media in all of this. Sensational headlines, emotional interviews, and viral social media posts have turned this case into a public spectacle. But how much of what we're seeing is true, and how much is being orchestrated for maximum impact? The media thrives on drama, and cases like this one are gold mines for ratings. Every new twist, every new accusation becomes fodder for talk shows, blogs, and podcasts. But the media's involvement also raises concerns about fairness. When someone like Diddy is accused, the public often rushes to judgment, fueled by headlines rather than hard evidence. And as we've seen with Dahlia Graves' story unraveling, not everything that's reported turns out to be true. The media can amplify lies just as easily as truths, and in a high-profile case like this, the stakes are incredibly high. What's at stake here is not just Diddy's legacy, it's the balance of power in the entertainment industry. Diddy represents the old guard, a generation of music moguls who built empires through talent, hustle, and sometimes ruthless business practices. But times are changing. The rise of social media, the hashtag #MeToo movement, and a growing focus on accountability are reshaping how power is distributed in the industry. Could this lawsuit be part of a larger movement to dethrone the old guard and make way for a new generation of power players? With so many accusers coming forward, it's easy to get swept up in the narrative of justice being served. But what if this is also about power? About who controls the narrative, who gets to stay on top, and who gets taken down? In the past, figures like Diddy were untouchable. But as we've seen with figures like Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, and R. Kelly, no one is too big to fall. The question is Diddy next? And if he does fall, who stands to gain from it? At the core of this case is the question of intent. Are the accusers seeking justice for real wrongs committed against them? Or are they driven by something else? Fame, money, revenge? The revelation that Dahlia Graves attempted to bribe key witnesses in her case with millions of dollars certainly casts doubt on the sincerity of some of the accusations. If she's willing to go to such lengths to fabricate a story, it's reasonable to question whether others might be doing the same. Money plays a significant role in cases like this. Settlements in high-profile lawsuits can reach astronomical figures. And for some, the prospect of a hefty payout might be enough to push them to come forward, even if their stories aren't entirely true. This doesn't mean that all of the accusations against Diddy are false, but it does mean that we need to approach this case with a critical eye. In the end, the Diddy lawsuit is a complex, multifaceted case that goes far beyond the accusations themselves. It's about power, influence, and the lengths people will go to either defend or destroy a legacy. The involvement of figures like Jay Prince, the collapse of key accuser stories, and the media frenzy surrounding the case all point to the fact that this is not just a straightforward legal battle. It's a war of reputations, and the stakes are incredibly high. As more details come to light, it's becoming clear that this is one of the most elaborate and high-stakes legal sagas in recent entertainment history. Whether this is truly about justice or something more sinister remains to be seen, but one thing is for sure: this story is far from over. Stay tuned, because the twists and turns in this case are only just beginning.